they were all casualties, except the sports ones. The ducks and geese and whatever.
What was the one you were telling me about? Peter Schultz called.
Yeah.
Maybe you can give him a little
He's the
spill
hero.
on that one. Peter Schultz was our evening guide editor in all the paper, and I believe we were down by what we know now as the Schultz. No?
He found it down at Gage's Creek.
Mm-hmm.
The heron?
No, Gage's Creek is down.
No, I thought you said it was the heron.
Oh, the big heron.
Yeah,
Where's
so that'll be that one.
up there?
Right up here?
Oh, you can't see him up there. It's beautiful.
He was saying that Peter had called
Oh,
and
yeah.
had a bird. I'll let you finish the story because this is
He
on
called
our
from
main street.
the guide office on the main street. And he said, do you think Douglas would like a blue heron? And I said, I'm sure he'd be delighted. Well, if you could bring it down after school, I've got it at the office. Well, you know, blue heron has wings like this, and his legs are like, and his neck's like this. Douglas was a fairly tall kid, but when he came out, he was holding the bird up like this, and of course he was dead and he was limp and he just stretched, and the wings were like this. I tell you, he's just about stopped traffic on the main street. It was really fun.
Well, you've known me many a year.
I need
But,
to.
Well, we won't go into that.
Yes, no, we won't go into that.
Can you come here?
Oh, I see.
And then we'll just turn you around so we can get a picture. Okay?
But I know Maisie had this collection, and we did not want to see it,
Just
disintegrate and not being used. We contacted a number of the organizations, schools, etc. And because of government laws today, we just couldn't, our hands were tied. So we were very fortunate that we ran into George with the Ganaraska Conservation Authority, and he helped in regards to one, organizing it, and two, listing all of the birds and animals that were there. And we...
No, he didn't have to list them.
Well,
He had a
you
list.
had them, but he had to rewrite them and then issue all the letters to Ontario
sure
and the
that was
federal government.
a real pain.
But we know that the children of today will well appreciate this into the future. And that was what Daisy really wanted, so that the kids could enjoy it.
Really sweet. Kids come to my door. There's a bird for Douglas.
Wow.
And I would just put them in a plastic bag and put them in the freezer till he came home.
Once people find out that you're a taxidermist,
Oh yeah.
they seem to know that there's some place where they can take a window kill or a road kill
That's
because they think it's in good shape and they want you to do something with it. Kids would not know that. You hardly ever live to see that.
No?
No,
Is it rare one?
And that's not rare, but it's so hidden. It lives in a marsh
Oh, okay.
and it runs through big bulrushes.
Well, I'll tell you what the first one was. It was a mouse skin rug.
Most. How many mice? How many mice?
This is the black one.
This was his first project. It was a
Oh,
mouse.
that's pretty.
That's
I
the
could imagine
red-headed
it.
woodpecker you talked about?
Oh, yeah, I've seen
Wow,
lots
look
of
at
those
that,
before.
And he took it to school and sure scared all the girls with it.
Oh!
How many mice do they have?
Just one.
Oh,
You know, a mouse skin rug like a bear.
Oh, I see.
yeah.
Maybe it's your rat.
Oh, but this big.
It's cute. And this guy, he was hit by a car, and the old man that lived over the next street picked him up, and he tried feeding him with honey, and he brought him to Douglas, and he was just covered with honey. And he said, Mom, what am I going to do with him? I said, well, I expect he's been wet before. So we washed him.
Very good.
He was fine. His tail was loose though, wasn't it?
It used to be.
Yeah.
You know all the birds. You must have had quite a connection to the birds while they were sitting in your home.
Well, I tell you, I had to learn. Because I wasn't good.
Well, on behalf of the Ganaraska Forest Center, we truly appreciate your donation. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for coming out today.
Oh, well,
Really
I wanted to
appreciate
see what
that.
happened with them. Well, they can learn because they can find them here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a good space.
So I was the
Good
one that
choice.
did the A to B to
Oh, good.
find the best
Okay.
get C going
So
here.
you went to school first?
I went to schools and then finally I ended up at the Ganaraska Conservation Authority and that's when George and I had a conversation. We said we're going to make this work.
And everything's wired. There's wires through the legs, there's a wire through the whole body, so it gives it strength and
This
stability.
bird has, I hope he has no ears. Because the language doing his neck was rather rude.
The what?
The language. He had a terrible time with his neck.
Oh, did he? Oh.
What else could I do with all those birds? Who else would put up with them?
We're happy to put up with them.
Mind you, they get awfully dirty. Somebody's cleaned them nicely.
I wonder who that was.
Good, thank you.
Yes, I spent quite a bit of time doing them.
I guess.
How do you clean a dead bird?
How do you clean a stuffed bird? Oh, a dead bird?
Well,
Sometimes
no, I mean this one.
Just with
I
a
have
wet
a big
sponge?
owl at home that gets kind of dusty.
a damp sponge.
That's it, eh?
That's all, just a
I
damp
used to
sponge.
use a paintbrush.
Well, you can use a paintbrush too. You need a little moisture to pick up the dust. But quite often that's all I do. Yeah, or my wife does them. You know, it depends whose turn it is, kind of thing. But a damp sponge is really all you need.
No, when he came home from school, he went to Guelph. And the first thing he did was go down and clean the birds.
It's one of their favorite things when they come here. They get super excited. And sometimes we actually have to keep the door locked until we're ready to bring them in. Otherwise, they want to come in and just kind of handle everything and look at everything. We usually give them time to take pictures before they go. A lot of them like to do that. But as far as how we use them, we teach a program called Animal Adaptations. And we talk about specific adaptations of many of the animals that can be found in the forest. And so it's great to have these examples. We can point to the owl's wings and explain how an owl can fly silently through the night, or pointing right at the owl's eyes. That's another good example. Just how big they are. So it's really nice to have those hands-on examples for that program. And then we also teach a program called the survival game. And in fact, actually that's not from this particular collection, but the fish are up there. It's been really nice to have for that because it's an animal that we have in that game, and none of the kids knew what it was. So it's nice to have an example of what that looks like.
So they were sectioned off according to types of birds?
Sorry.
I can see the growth in your son's progress from the first bird to the 100th bird.
Okay.
There was definitely a
What do you
transition.
think was the first one?
Well, there were several there's a few of them actually didn't even make the cabinet because they were either in such bad shape or,
I was afraid of that.
yeah. But most of them, I think maybe all but about 5 survived. Some of them were kind of beat up after time for different reasons, I
Yeah.
guess,
Well, some of them were not in such good shape
to
either.
begin
when
with.
when
Yeah,
got them.
some of the small warblers I couldn't keep them. But for the most part, they were, but even, there was a red-tailed hawk.
Oh, I love the hawks.
Well, it's not this one. It's not even here. It's in the other room, I think.
His tail was loose.
Well, I fixed those, and that wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, there were a lot of parts to fix that, but no, they were okay. But you could, definitely, there was a transition where you could see, and it just stands to reason.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
I mean, he had no one to teach him.
No, you learn by the book.
It was really...
Yeah. But he must have had a good eye for watching birds in the
yeah.
wild to know.
I gave his life list, bird watchers keep a life list.
Yes.
I gave that to Willow Beach Club
Right.
because they were all here.
Mhm.
Birds were all
Of course. Yeah.
around this area.
Is that it there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another.
It's got that.
That's the Cooper's
I'm
house.
not a-
If it's got the grosbeak.
Yeah, it's definitely the same.
Okay.
The yellow, the browny yellow color.
Oh,
That's a kestrel again.
Kestrel, did I write that?
Yeah, to the point where you will hear them, but you just don't see them.
I've had kids.
It's called a Virginia rail. It's a lovely, lovely bird. They make a noise like 2 rocks hitting together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.